What's good, YouTube? Quinn Wade basketball analysis coming to y'all with a quick video. Today we gonna talk about Jayson Tatum and his ability to be better than what a lot of people expected. Even when I was thinking about the draft and thinking about the impact players, they're like, can Jayson Tatum really shoot the three? Can Jayson Tatum be consistently scoring? Is he athletic enough? Can he shoot good enough? And can he, be consistent as a rookie? Obviously, he did hit a little bit of a wall towards the end of the season, but they did trade the number one pick to get Jayson Tatum later in the draft, and he has played better than Markelle Fultz so far and became one of the top five rookies. And Gordon Hayward going down opened up a lot of minutes for him, and he has produced and helped the Celtics win over 50 games and helped them get to the second round. And if you look at his numbers against Philly, he had 28 points, 21 points, and 24 points, but he also shot 50%, 50%, and 64%. And that's a lot of pressure for a young guy, especially knowing that you're dependent on to be good so early in your career. Usually they come off the bench or they get little minutes or they take a couple seasons until they really take off. And Jayson Tatum, they put pressure on him. Brad Stevens trusts him. His teammates trusts him. He's getting the ball in the post. He's getting the ball off. He's scoring off the dribble. He's taking step back threes. He's using his length and IQ to get to positions and get, to areas that he can knock down shots. He is a tough shot maker. He's a guy that can make late second shot clocks. He's a guy that's not scared to take the big shots. He's a guy that's not scared to take the spot up three. He's a guy that also can play in a system because he's a guy that doesn't really need the ball. But if you give him the ball, he can put the ball in the basket no matter who's guarding him, small, big, or just a regular forward. And that's very impressive to have a guy of that age, the one and done looking more and more crazier because a lot of these players going 1 year in college and coming out and producing like this, even though you got a lot of failures too, is crazy to see a guy like Jayson Tatum only be just 20 years old and stepping up in the regular season, knocking down big shots against the Bucks, knocking down big shots in the fourth quarter versus the Sixers, and he's only 20 years old and he's still developing, and he might not even be a starter next year because Gordon Hayward will be coming back. He might be a sixth man, and that's what I wanted to talk about, seeing the potential of Jayson Tatum, seeing how great he is already, seeing how he shows up damn near every game, and he can do just about what Gordon Hayward does. It's just Gordon Hayward does it better. He's a better playmaker, um, and he does a little bit more with his handles. But one thing I would think people would think about is that Jayson Tatum, for him to be 20 years old, he's not as a consistent scorer. He's not, the dominant ball handler and playmaker that Gordon Hayward is, but he's not that far off considering that he's only 20 years old and Gordon Hayward is going closer to 30. And it makes you think, what is Jayson Tatum's future in Boston? Will he be a trade asset? People see how good he is. People see how great he can be. People see all the intangibles and all the great things that he brings. Will they try to get him in a trade? Will Danny Ainge keep him? He stayed with Terry Rozier, but he's going to either have to trade Terry Rozier or give him a lot of money. But you already have Kyrie. Terry Rozier steps up, plays big, and plays huge in the playoffs. And now you think like Kyrie, like, do you even need Kyrie Irving when Terry Rozier is playing? But at the end of the day, I feel like Kyrie is a significantly better player than Terry Rozier. And I feel like Gordon Hayward is better than Jayson Tatum, even though he's coming off an injury, so we don't really know what to expect. And saying with Kyrie, these players are healthy. These players are putting in the minutes. These players are playing big when they need them to play the most, which is in the last couple games and winning 50 games and, taking those spots and still contributing, on short notice. and for a majority of the season in the playoffs. So it's going to be tough. What do you guys think? Do you guys think that they should continue to stay with Jayson Tatum? Do you think he's going to come back off the bench? Do you think he is going to be a superstar? He's showing the potential. He's showing everything that we want him to do, and he's playing big in the biggest stage of them all, which is the playoffs, which is tough to do for a lot of players, especially role players. And, he does still look like a role player, but in this Philly series, they're going to him down the stretch. They're relying on him, and that's bringing out the best of him. Usually people crumble under that pressure or they run away from it. Jayson Tatum, he's taking it day by day, opportunity by opportunity, and he's proven a lot of people wrong. Obviously, I had him in my top 5 draft. I didn't think he was going to be a bust. I didn't think he was going to be trash. But also, I didn't think he'd be this consistent and this good and so efficient as a young player, especially because his body is still developing. And he's still not where you want him to be weight-wise for the position at 205, at 6'8". That's a little small for me. But he's been able to bang with the biggest and the baddest players in the league and still get his shot off. And he still got that go-to fadeaway or pull-up jumper that, everybody's scouting against him. Everybody knows what he's trying to do. Everybody already knows his go-to move, and he's been able to get that off. And the NBA level has been very impressive. And you look at a future with Jaylen Brown and Tatum, both players playing the best basketball of their careers in the playoffs so far. And, that's the moment where you see Philly, what they did yesterday. They relied on Ben Simmons. They relied on Joel Embiid, and they didn't come through with it in the fourth quarter and in overtime. And you see a guy like Tatum knocking down big shots and Jaylen Brown knocking down big shots in that fourth quarter and in overtime. It lets you know that, these players are seasoned. They're going out there playing just like it's another game. They're not worried about losing. They're not worried about having a bad game. They're not worried about going in a shooting slump. They're going out there playing their game. They're going out there trusting Brad Stevens' system offensively and defensively. And they're going out there earning stripes. People going to respect this team. People going to, you know, feel they start to know that this is not a knockover team with or without Kyrie and Gordon Hayward. And that's the thing that you want. You want your opponent to know that you can play, that he's not going to have an easy game. He's not going to just dominate you. And that's something that I'm highly impressed with this young Celtics team, that despite all the bull and all the controversy and all the injuries, this team has been able to stay consistent, stay focused, stay locked in, and take it game by game, whether people are healthy or not. But this team looks like a championship team in the future, especially talent-wise, and Jayson Tatum is a big part of that. But I wonder what's going to happen when you have a healthy Kyrie and a healthy Gordon Hayward with a healthy Al Horford. Who's going to get the minutes? Who's going to get the starts? How are they going to play? Will they continue to trust in this young group and give them a lot of minutes off the bench, or will they get a significant reduce in minutes because you have Kyrie and Gordon Hayward healthy? Maybe they go in a different direction, knowing how successful this team has been with this roster right now. And is it because the Bucks flopped a little bit in the fourth quarters, or they wasn't consistent? Was it just Brad Stevens putting his players in the right position? And even if you do that, the players still got to be able to knock down those shots. The players still got to have confidence in themselves. The players still got to knock these shots down consistently. We give a lot of praise and a lot of respect to Brad Stevens, but the players still got to make the plays. The players still got to execute the game plan. The players still got to execute offensively and defensively, trust each other, stay together, and knock down the shots. So it's a balancing act. Brad Stevens giving them the best opportunities, but they still got to knock down and make the plays to win games. So it's basically 50-50. But Brad Stevens is doing an excellent job trying to help. By putting this team in the positions that they need to be to get the best out of their talent, and that is great coaching. I will give him full credit on that. But I definitely want to know the future of the Celtics. Do you keep Kyrie after 2 years, knowing how well this team is playing without him? Do you keep Gordon Hayward, or you try to trade him Will he come back healthy? Will he come back the same Gordon like Paul George kind of did? Because he's not really the same offensive player or defender that he used to be, but he is still a perennial All-Star player and a potential All-NBA player. And Gordon Hayward made the All-Star team from last year, and that he averaged over 20 points a game with a talented Utah team. And we definitely want to see how great he will be with Brad Stevens reuniting with him. But we also got to consider that how well Jayson Tatum and Jaylen Brown is playing, that they deserve their time, they deserve their minutes, they deserve their touches, and they're not that far off from being superstars themselves. But it might stunt their growth a little bit having guys like Kyrie and Gordon Hayward coming back and taking up the bulk of those minutes and the bulk of those touches, and it could hurt and stun their growth a little bit because of that. But at the same time, it is a sacrifice for winning. And if you can win a championship, why not try to do it early in your career to get it over with? Because it's going to be difficult to be on a championship team. Being a contributor and being a big factor in that team is unlikely for these two players. But at the same time, if they continue down this development, they continue that playing this impressive, it's going to be hard to deny them what they deserve, which is, a big part of this offense and defense and team. But they are young, they still developing, and they got a far way to go before they can get to that superstar level. But it's amazing how well they are playing under these circumstances, under adversity, and they're coming through at a young age. And, Danny Ainge drafted the right players. It looked smart. It looked right. But he's going to have a problem of having too much talent and not enough cash. And if people not willing to sacrifice, people not willing to take less money, this can get a little ugly. But at the same time, you have a lot of players locked down to long-term deals. And a lot of players that, you may not be able to afford down the road, but they can be good assets to get you other players that's under long-term contracts, maybe veterans that's on the aspiring, or even future draft picks. So if it don't work or injuries still occur, you can try to rebuild through the draft while still having a good roster like they've been doing the last 3 years. Check out my website, analysisplayground.com. Link will be in the description in the comment section below. And check out my Facebook page, analysisplayground.com. Link will be in the description in the comment section below. And let me know what you guys think about Jayson Tatum. Superstar, role player, Brad Stevens got the best out of him, or is the guy going to be a two-way star or a two-way superstar? Because he has all the mindsets, all the game. He just got to be able to dominate, and that's something that he hasn't been able to do consistently, but it's something that he's really showing in this Philadelphia 76ers team, that you can rely on him at the age of 20, and he's only getting better. Before you know it, he can be 25, 26 years old, putting up 20-plus points. And we might even forget about Gordon Hayward, which is crazy. We would have never thought about that going into the season, especially off the season that Gordon Hayward had last year in Utah.